After our first successful mission in Ingizan, where we constructed some new obelisks to help with the Aether problems here in Ingizan, we are now called to Versetti. He is happy to see us and thanks us again for our help with the obelisks. But he has a problem that we shall investigate for him. They have discovered an Elim like Abolu, and the team he dispatched to investigate it has not returned. It is strange because one of his Daeva's reports that anyone returning from Talok's forest returns thoroughly beaten up, but all of them are unwilling to take help or medicine for some reason. So we make our way there and talk to Tiala, the leader of this expedition. She explains that there is a massive amount of ether energy flowing here, and if we could somehow use that energy, we wouldn't have to depend on the obelisks to make up the ether shortage in Ingizan any longer. While they examined Talok, they encountered an Elim called Lothas, but Lothas is not a real Elim. He is like one of Talok's branches come to life. Anyway, he told them that something terrible was happening in Talok's Hollow and asked for their help. Tiala thought this would be a good opportunity, because the Elim never forget the depth. She sent some people to Lothas for that reason, but they all failed. Even those who were supposedly very talented came back completely exhausted. They were unable to handle the power that Lothas gave them, which is why they still have no information of what is even going on in Talok's Hollow. As we approach Lothas, he asks for our help and tells us that he will give us his blessing. This blessing will push us to the limits of our power, and then he sends us inside of Talok. Inside, we see ourselves transformed due to the blessing of the Elim. We fight away through parasites and insects, until we arrive before two cocoons. We open one and meet Abila, a Rayan cleric. Rayans are much like us Elyos, except their key feature is their pink and white wing, as each Rayan possesses only one. Unlike Daevas, they are able to maintain them open indefinitely. At this point, we don't know much more about them. And she is also on a mission. She tells us that she is here to hunt Queen Mosca, and decides to join us in our journey through Talok. We go deeper into Talok, and before we can climb the routes to the upper parts, Lothas appears before us.
Take extra care in this place, Daeva. Things have reached a boiling point. Kinquid has long been my friend, but I can help, but only if you strike down Kinquid. To withstand his formidable might, you must use the Kratos' energy. The yellow smoke will neutralize Kinquid's defenses against physical attacks. The purple smoke will neutralize his defenses against magical attacks. Kinquid's defenses are impenetrable. He cannot be defeated without the Kratos' energy. Defeat Kinquid. Defeat my friend.
Once we go to the upper parts, we meet Hyas, another Rayan who explains that the ether levels have dropped right now, and he thinks it is Queen Mosca's fault. She is laying eggs, and those eggs are absorbing the ether like sponges. We can leave, but Talok cannot, so we have to help him by killing Queen Mosca and destroying her eggs. As we approach Queen Mosca's room, Lothas appears again.
Your job is not yet done, Daeva. My suffering will end only when Queen Mosca is cast out. Eliminate this thief who uses my power to hatch her eggs. Mosqua's death will let you crack her eggs. You must do this to reach Celestius's domain. A foul wind will arise from within ye chain. Jump into the current and spread your wings, and you will reach the domain of Celestius. The domain within me, which Celestius has usurped the source of this chaos. I wish you good fortune, Daeva. All depends on you.
We kill Queen Mosca, destroy her egg, and use the upwind to arrive in Celestius' domain. After a fight with Celestius, Talok's mirage appears and thanks us. But what is even more interesting is that when we talk to him, he says, a Daeva with a destiny yet to be realized. You are strong, Daeva, but I can sense latent power slumbering within. Your destiny is tied to the fate of all Elysia. Of that, I have no doubt. I will watch your future unfold with great anticipation. What could he mean? We know that Elim have special talents, like Lord Daminu can look into the past and into the future. And our big Elim friend Talok here is like 200 times the size of the Elim Lord Daminu. Anyway, we leave Talok's Hollow and talk to Lothas. He is very surprised that we could handle the power of the blessing, and asks if we found the cause of Talok's torment. We hand him Celestia's heart and explain that this caused the pain of Talok. Then we say goodbye to the Elim and return to Tiala for our report. Tiala sent us with all this knowledge to Versetti, who was impressed by our skill and tenacity. But he also says, using the might of the Imperial Lords was risky. Aside from the danger if it hadn't worked, there's also a matter of perception. Your actions may seem holy to some, but sacrilegious to others. And still more may envy your ability. Happy outcome for now, but do you think you would do it differently, given another chance? With our reward, we return home, but all of this still seems very confusing. So let us conclude what we learned today. When a cataclysm shattered the Tower of Eternity, which is believed to be Aeon himself, thousands of fragments from the tower rained down all over Atreya. One huge shard tore into the ground beneath a great tree. The tree's roots soon fused with the fragment, and the tree gained sentience. It became an Elim. This Elim, named Talok, grew with each passing day. Eventually he grew so large that the hollows inside it became veritable caverns, and the creatures that took up residence inside the Elim mutated. As we Elyos arrived in Ingizan, it didn't take us long to notice the great Elim, but Talok was in pain, so Daevas were sent inside to explore what caused the pain. But all of them returned shortly after, with a mysterious illness, which first was believed to be some kind of poison, but later turned out to be an ether overdose. Inside of Talok's Hollow, the ether is abundant and pure enough to overdose anyone who dares to enter. For some reason, however, we were strong enough to withstand the deadly side effects, and aided by the fruit of Talok, we transformed into an Elim protector, which made us strong enough to overcome all the enemies inside of Talok's Hollow. We killed Queen Mosca, destroyed her eggs, and then killed the mutated Comad Celestius, which all were absorbing the ether of Talok and caused him pain. With them now gone, Talok can continue his life without suffering. So in the end, we not only helped our friends, the Elim, but we also helped the whole of Ingizan by restoring the ether imbalance caused by the parasites inside of Talok. But we're not done here yet. Rimul, the Stigma Master in Ingizan, called us to him. He was a student of the Stigma Master in Sanctum, Myria, and journeyed on his own accord to Ingizan to learn more about Stigma and to become even better than his mentor. He says that the shards of Talok's soul that have been absorbed by Kinkwit, Queen Mosca, and Celestius are so thoroughly filled with ether that this uniqueness might be the key to expanding Stigma slots even more. And indeed, he succeeded and granted us another Stigma slot, which makes us even more powerful now. And with this, we have surely earned us a bit of rest. See you next time. Bye.